Hello everyone, my name's Deborah Dick, and I want to talk to you tonight about the pit bull breed, but specifically the breed-specific legislation that is occurring because of it. Here in Missouri and across many American cities, breed-specific legislation has been occurring mainly based on the media's portrayal that sensationalizes the attacks of pit bulls on humans. Now, we should not stereotype this pit bull. We need to have some sympathy for it. As many groups that are out there that are in the canine field that believe that breed-specific legislation should be canceled, thinks that this breed has gotten a bad rap. Now, the pit bull is really a gentle, loving animal if it is trained properly. Now, many of you might wonder what a pit bull is. Let's take a look at that. The question is, what specifically is a pit bull and how can we best describe it? There's confusion about this, since there's no one specific trait that just tells what a pit bull actually is. Now, the ASPCA tells us that depending on who you talk to, it can be a combination of 2 breeds or up to 5 breeds or a mix of all of them. Now, the one way we can tell is there are 2 specific types of pit bulls that are considered pit bulls, and those are the American Pit Bull Terrier and the American Staffordshire Terrier. Now, as much confusion as we had in identifying what a pit bull was, there's just as much confusion trying to determine if this one breed is all mean or all nice, because you cannot make a comparison from one dog to many dogs. Now, the Working Pit Bull Association tells us that it's actually a mixture of hardwired genetics, environmental influence, and human management that comes into play when determining whether a dog is nice or mean. There are many stories out there about the pit bull breed, and especially that the pit bull was bred to attack and kill humans. And this is false. This is not what they were bred for. They were actually bred to fight other dogs. And the ASP mentions a little interesting fact on this, that when these animals attacked their trainers or owners, they were killed and put down because they were deemed unfit to be put into the arena. Now, we've taken the aggressiveness to human and it's been bred out of the line. With this human aggression bred out of the line, it lets us place more emphasis on the gentleness and temperamental nature of the breed. You cannot take one breed, say they are aggressive, when all breeds have the potential to become aggressive. It comes down to the independent temperament of each individual dog. Now, the American Temperament Testing Association has annual tests that they do on different breeds of dogs, and the pit bull has done extremely well. It has actually tested better than your collie or your golden retriever, which are 2 of the most lovable pets in America. Now, 870 pit bulls were tested, 755 passed, and 115 failed. But this gave an overall percentage of 86.8%, which is pretty good for a breed that's deemed dangerous. Let's talk a little bit about the breed-specific legislation. When you get into banning certain breeds, it's mostly your pit bulls, your Rottweilers, and your German Shepherds. But the problem with this is that this focuses on one breed rather than the individual dog itself. Now, there are many groups opposed to the breed-specific legislation. Linda Weiss tells us that some of these are the American Kennel Club, the American Medical Veterinary Association, and the Westminster Kennel Club. All these oppose breed-specific legislation. These groups think that these breeds deserve a fair shake, especially when it comes to determining the breed's temperament. The American Kennel Club tells us that the responsible ownership is the answer to this problem with breed temperament. And I spoke with Carla Miller, our veterinarian, and she told me that, in her opinion, based on her experience with all different types of dogs, the smaller dogs were your more mean and vicious. They have smaller teeth and can cause more damage. Now, what we need to look at is legislation aimed at the irresponsible owners of these breeds. If you ban a certain breed, then this irresponsible owner or criminal is just going to switch to a different breed of dog. We need to make the irresponsible owner liable for its own dog and blame that dog for specific things. The Pit Bull Rescue Central tells us that we need to have stiffer penalties on these owners in regards to their fines and maybe even having to serve jail time. What we need to do is enforce the existing laws that we already have on the books rather than create more laws, because what we're doing is banning one dog for a whole breed, or banning one breed for a whole dog. Sorry about that. In Kansas City, their dog ordinance states that no dog is dangerous until it has committed a dangerous act. And that's the kind of legislation we need to more look at, is taking the owner and the individual dog into consideration. I'm going to kind of go back and reiterate a little bit. I said that the pit bull breed is not dangerous. It is a very gentle and fun-loving animal if it's trained properly. It is actually the irresponsible owners that have trained their dogs to be human aggressive that is causing the problems. Breed-specific legislation is not the answer to these problems. We need to look at and punish those people actively involved in criminal behavior and irresponsible owners. Many canine groups and organizations believe that the breed-specific legislation shouldn't be done, and that we should base on the actual canine itself and its temperament in the breed rather than a whole breed in general. Well, I want to thank you all for allowing me to come in and talk to you a little bit about the pit bulls, and I hope I've been able to give you at least enough information that you can look up some stuff for your own and make your own decision rather than what's printed in the media. Thank you.
Good job.